Chemistry of Film Photography. Payton Rogers, 3rd period. I am going to explain the composition of film and the process of film development. I will explain the chemicals used in film and the benefits and uses of film photography to humankind. I will answer the question, what is chemistry's role in the production of film photography? And I will fully explain the chemistry of photography. These two pictures are pictures of cameras that would use film photography. These are examples of film photography. This one is by Danny Modelli. This one is by David Walters. This one is by Josh Hedge. History of film photography. The first camera was invented in the 19th century. The first photo was developed in 1826. Film photography was the first and only method of developing the first photos. It would require 8 hours of light and the image would slowly fade over time. This is a picture of the very first camera. The main features of a film camera are the aperture, the shutter, the lens, and the film. The aperture is a small hole in the camera that lets light in for the time you want to take a picture. The shutter controls the precise amount of time that light should be let through the aperture. The lens scales down the image to fit the size of the film. The image is reflected backwards onto the film to create a negative. Composition of the film. This is a diagram showing the many layers of photographic film. The first layer is protectant coating. The second layer is gelatin and silver halide crystals that make up emulsion. The third layer is film base, a chemically stable and flexible polymer called polyethylene. The fourth layer is anti-halogen backing, which keeps lighting from reflecting off the back of the film. Developing process. To process film, you would dip the film in each of the following chemicals: film developer, stop bath, and fixer. Film has to be developed in a completely dark room. A red or green light can be used to see. Emulsion is made up of silver halide crystals and gelatin. Silver halide is a compound formed between silver and one of the halogens, such as bromide, chloride, iodine, or fluoride. Emulsion can contain impurities such as silver sulfite on the surfaces. Emulsion forms a latent image. This is the chemical formula for the Latin image. Developer. Developer is what makes the chemical changes visible and makes the image permanent. Developer is a substance that causes the silver iodine on the film to darken when it is exposed to light. The developer donates electrons to the positive silver ions. Eventually, all of the silver in the film will be reduced. This is a picture of somebody developing black and white film. Stop bath and fixer. After the developer, the film must be dipped in the stop bath. The stop bath contains acetic acid and completely stops the development process. The last part of the process is the fixer. The fixer removes all of the undeveloped silver iodine from the emulsion and makes the final product permanent. In order to change the negative film to positive, the film is rinsed off and laid to dry. Then a light is shined through, which casts a shadow onto photo paper. This is a picture of a dark room with a red light. Importance of photography and how it has influenced our society. Photography brought up advertisement. Photography allows communication. Photography provides proof and evidence and tells stories. Photography documents history and shares memories. Photography is used in making videos and movies. Photography allows advances in medicine. Photography shows career opportunities. This is a video brought to you by BuzzFeed about film photography.
It wasn't so long ago that you couldn't just snap a dozen shots of your lunch and then quickly review them to make sure that you had the perfect shot of your Big Mac. To capture a moment in time as an image, you wouldn't use a camera app. You'd use a camera to record the photo onto a thing called film. And it was kind of a completely different thing. Nowadays, photos are intangible and ubiquitous. They come from the phones in our pockets and live forever on Facebook and Instagram and your defunct Flickr account. But it used to be you could only take as many photos as you had room on this film stuff. It was this dark plasticky tape that came in these black little tubes, and you couldn't expose it to light, like Gizmo. When you filled the tape up with photos, and there was only room for like 24 or 36, you couldn't just pull them out and look at them, deleting the ones you didn't like. In fact, you'd have no idea what your photos even looked like until you took them to this shop that would print them out for you. When you got them back, everyone would crowd around to see what that vacation or party from weeks or months or even years ago looked like. The way you shared a photo with someone back then was you put it in their hands and they looked at it. Sometimes you collected your favorites in these physical books. Sometimes you'd find an envelope of photos from a summer long ago in the bottom of a shoebox, and it was like finding a time capsule. Film photos don't just look different. I mean, they do. There's something about the way they look that is undeniable. But when you only had 24 shots, you thought about them differently. You had to pick the moments that mattered to you to shoot. And when you saw a photo from your life that brought you back to summer camp or college or a childhood vacation, you knew how unlikely it was to get that shot. It was once in a lifetime, and that's what made it special.
In conclusion, chemistry has a lot to do with film photography. and film photography has a lot to do with the history of our society.